Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to episode 27 of C.C.O. Complete Client Overview. Today we are reviewing ForgeHax 2.9.0 for Minecraft 1.12.2. This episode is brought to you by my members. If you would like to get your skin and name in a video, be sure to join now for as little as $0.6 a month. Huge shout out to everyone that voted. Don't forget to use the link in the description so that you can choose what client I review next. I have also recently started my very own Anarchy server, so be sure to check it out. The IP is in the description. There's also a link to my Discord server where you can chat with other people in the community or get client configs and enter giveaways. ForgeHax is a free and open source client that can be found on GitHub. Unfortunately, they do not have their own custom website. With that being said, they do have a really good looking README section on their GitHub page. There's a lot of helpful information on the client, and as I have said many times before, I am a huge fan of the download count. Speaking of which, ForgeHax has over 15,000 downloads, which is a pretty respectable number. The FAQ section is also very helpful, especially for people using ForgeHax for the first time. Whoever set up the repository has done an amazing job. Everything is very understandable and helpful. The wiki page is also an amazing touch and a much needed one at that, though I'll talk more about this later. There are two different ways of downloading ForgeHax 2.9.0. The first and most simple method is to download a pre-compiled jar from the Releases tab. Here you will see a bunch of different releases, but in this case we are looking for Minecraft 1.12.2 ForgeHax 2.9.0. ForgeHax is a well-known and trusted project, meaning the pre-compiled jar is safe to use. Or option 2, you can download the Minecraft 1.12.2 ForgeHax 2.9.0 sourcecode.zip and compile the client for yourself. For anyone that doesn't know how to compile a client, there's a link to a tutorial video in the description. ForgeHax has fewer modules than most of the other clients I have previously reviewed. ForgeHax does however offer its users both PvP and utility modules. Before we jump into the offered modules, it is important to state that unlike most hacked clients, ForgeHax is mainly managed through the command line. You cannot just adjust each module settings through the GUI like all of the other clients I have reviewed. More about that later though. Anyways, let's have a look at some of those PvP and render related modules. Auto Crystal. This module has a few settings and works decently, but it definitely isn't as fast or as smart as some of the other clients I have reviewed. Auto Totem. This module works, but it does not have any offhand mode built into it, making it less useful during PvP. Anti-knockback. This module actually has quite a few settings. This lets you customize how much knockback you take when you take damage. Aimbot. This module is very customizable and works as intended, but the module itself is not too helpful for crystal PvP. Anti-potion effect. This module removes all of the bad potion effects from your HUD. There are two modes and the module works as intended. Chams. This module lets you render entities through walls. There are a few modes and the module works well. Logout spots. This module highlights the position in which another player logged out. This only works if they are in your render distance when they log out. This information can then be used to trap them. Anti-hurt cam. This module removes the hurt cam. This makes crystal PvP more enjoyable. Before we get into some of the utility hacks offered by ForgeHax, I'd like to take a quick break and remind you all to like or dislike the video. This lets me know if you're enjoying my content. Anyways, that is enough self-promotion. Let's have a look at some of those utility modules. Anti-bats. This module removes bats from showing in your game. It also mutes their sounds. This is only a client-side cheat though. Spawner ESP. This module highlights spawners through blocks. This can be useful for escaping spawn on Anarchy servers. Horse stats. This module lets you edit a rideable entity's stats, like a horse or donkey for example. You can edit their speed and jump height. Portal GUI. This module lets you open your GUI while you're inside of a portal. This is very useful if you get portal trapped on an Anarchy server. BookBot. This module can write into books from a text file or write into a text file from a book in-game. This has been used in the past for duping by overloading a chunk's memory. Map Downloader. This module lets you export an in-game map as a .png image. This isn't too helpful, but it is very interesting nonetheless. Chords Finder. This module will log the coordinates to any global sound event, like a lightning strike for example. The default key for opening the GUI is set to the right shift key. This can, however, be changed by opening the Minecraft control settings and scrolling down to GUI. The GUI itself is very simple and not really customizable. I am not a fan of how the module tabs scale to the length of the longest module, or that the modules are centered in view. Personally, I think clients look a lot better when the modules are listed to the left and all of the columns are the same width. Unfortunately, ForgeHax also lacks any form of HUD editor, and the default layout is all that is available. Unfortunately, ForgeHax does not have its own official Discord server. There's also no other listed way of contacting the developers. Like I previously mentioned though, there is a very helpful wiki page. Here you can find pretty much all of the info you'll ever need about ForgeHax. Every module also has its available settings listed here, which is very helpful. I personally struggle to remember all of the module's command settings. In conclusion, I think it is fair to say that ForgeHax is an interesting project. I am not the biggest fan of how the client is managed through the command line, but this is mainly because I couldn't remember what settings each module had or how to change them. I found myself constantly loading up the wiki page looking for help. This may not be an issue for long-time users, but I am personally too lazy to learn all of that for the use of one client. Personally, I would just stick to other more PvP or utility specific clients. In my opinion, if you're going to go through the trouble of creating a GUI, why not add the module settings to it? I am not against the command line settings, they just seem a little out of place. Basically, what I am trying to say is that I don't personally find the hassle of configuring modules to be worth the time. The modules offered by ForgeHax are okay, but they definitely aren't god tier. I think most people would be better off with other free alternatives. Though with all of that being said, there are some interesting modules and maybe the client is just too big brain for my laziness. ForgeHax is linked down below for anyone that would like to try it. If you do decide to try it, please let me know if you found the command line settings as annoying as I did. Thank you so much for watching to the end of my video. I really appreciate your time. Before you leave, remember to vote for next week's episode of C.C.O with the link in the description. Seeing as you are still here, I assume you enjoyed the video, so please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing. I have also recently made a KiLAB Gaming memberships area on my channel, so be sure to check out the benefits with the join button. Quick shout out to my members for all of their support. Without them, I would not be able to try new paid for clients. Anyways, it has been your boy KiLAB. Peace in the Middle East.